In this instance, we have met the Signagelive settings screen, and in the instance that, like myself, you don't have a USB port on your BrightSign player, this is how you're going to go about adding a config file to your Signagelive player remotely using the DWS portal. And upon doing so, we can get ourselves past this settings screen, because ideally, if we could put USB keyboard or mouse into this, we could then navigate through this settings screen that you can see here on screen now, and then we could complete this setup process. But we don't have that liberty right now. So I'm going to show you how we can do this remotely using the DWS portal. But the first thing we want to do is go to our BrightSign config generator. Now I've got this bookmarked, but I'll share a link below somewhere so you can access this too. But once you're in the BrightSign config generator, it's going to look something like this. The process of having this config file is what allows us to get past that settings screen that we've got behind us. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply scroll down. I'm going to select Series 5 device. Of course, if you had a different player type like I do, just make sure you're selecting the right drop down here. In my case, I've got a HD5, so we're just going to select other. There's no other configuration we need to do here. I can simply hit generate. Now that's going to download in the background. I'm now going to jump back over to the DWS portal. So we're going to find our player in our network here. We're going to go over to the settings here so we can get back into the DWS portal. Now we're back in the DWS portal. I can go over to the SD tab here and scroll down. And now you can see there is every file that is currently sitting on our SD card. This is here after we've installed Signagelive. So at this stage, we can go in and we can make changes to any of these folders. If I go into the data folder here, what I can now do is upload a file manually. So we're going to go down to this config file here, hit upload files, and you can see that's put that file into this data folder here. What I'm now going to do is click on the little cog here, and I'm going to click rename, and I want this to be called settings.json. Obviously, if you've downloaded this for the first time and it's just called settings.json, that's fine. In my case, because I've got lots of these on my laptop, it obviously renamed it to settings20.json. So we're going to leave that as it is. We're going to hit rename. And now you'll see we've got settings.json located within the data folder here. You could also generate a network.json, which is from that same BrightSign config generator. And then you can just load that in here the same way. In our case, we're not going to make any network changes. We're just making a change so we can get past this settings screen. So now this settings file contains all of the settings for our player. We're now going to hit control and we're going to hit reboot. And we're going to immediately reboot the player. And when this player boots back up behind me, we should get to an activation code as opposed to getting to that Signagelive settings screen that we saw before. And now after a few moments, what you can see is instead of hitting that Signagelive settings menu, we've gone straight into the activation code and we can begin using this player within Signagelive.